All right, Lean Maniacs, if you're watching this, it's probably because you saw the name Chuck Ceccarelli from In the Ditch Towing. This guy needs no introduction in the Lean community, and what he has created is mind-boggling. And normally when we do plant tours and stuff, we just, we go into the factory and we video everything, and it's exciting and great, and we all learn stuff. But I knew that Chuck had wisdom that he was going to bestow on us far, far beyond just a plant tour. So we put a mic on Chuck the minute we walked in, and we didn't turn it off until the minute we left. And I am so glad we did that. There's no words for the visit that we had with Chuck. Life-changing is probably an understatement, to be honest. And even this video probably won't do it justice, but you should get the essence of what was going down. And so this is going to be broken up into 3 parts. We got the part 1 is meet Chuck. Part 2 is going to be the walk to the factory. And that was probably just as good as the plant tour. Oh, like I said, I'm just so glad we mic'd them up. And then part 3 is the plant tour. So I know in the social media world, long videos aren't the way to go, but I don't care. I could not edit out 1 minute that we spent with Chuck, and I want to share every last second with all of you. So without further ado, let's go.
This is our company. What I was trying to get at is we're very disciplined. So we had In the Ditch products, and then I started making products for our boats, my boat. People were buying it off of me on the rivers.
Oh, no way.
Organizational products. We waited almost 3 years to launch that company until we had our feet under us. Then we were mentoring a company that had Razorback off-road, and we ended up acquiring them, which is a whole nother story. And then Inventive. We would give lean tours and people would say, hey, can I buy this power lift desk? We make Kanban cards, we make aluminum pegboard, we make all these accessories for manufacturing, and now you can buy them through Inventive products. I don't know, we're just kind of proud. Even our mailbox, we had an engineer design that because we just wanted the mail person to have an epic experience every time she came here. I mean, seriously, look at that mailbox. It's got dual flags too.
Dual flags.
Dual flags, one on each side.
This is, I couldn't imagine coming to work every day, and this is it.
Yeah, we wanted to build a rocket ship that everybody wants to get on. My son played college football, right? And we were struggling with hiring, and he says, Dad, quit hiring people. Let's start recruiting just like colleges.
Yeah.
So we set this up. We had video games and stuff. When you come interview, we're going to walk you by them. Right? We're recruiting you. Welcome to this campus. Who doesn't want to be here?
No kidding.
I'll get the door
Chuck,
for you.
I have a funny feeling my life's about to change today.
Come on in.
You guys are too much. Another screen making us feel important. Hi. Good.
Morning.
And we wasted our time looking for a hotel with a gym. We could have just came here this morning. I should have known.
Goes right back to if your employees are your biggest asset. Kristen, introduce yourself.
Hi guys, I'm Kristen. Nice
Hi, I'm Brad. So nice to meet you.
watching a little bit of your show. That's awesome. How are you guys? Who we got here? Shayna. How's Shayna? Nice. I see. And you guys are all together, same company?
Yep. Kristen's remarkable. How long ago has it been?
12 years.
She worked with me, and when she interviewed as a welder. And I'm like, I want to see this. And to this day, I believe she's the best welder in the entire company.
Good for you.
How many people work there?
You can teach me how to weld today. My welding's brutal.
Heck yeah.
How many were?
I think there was around 20 when I started. So pretty small. Chuck did all of our scheduling, and production planning and everything. He was right there. We all met as just one, and he told us our assignments for the day. I was very, very involved. And then I actually took over and learned scheduling from him, and I still do that. I do the production planning here, so.
But let's tell them what our scheduling was like back
We have
then.
evolved quite a bit. So it used to be we had orders in paper form. They were on clipboards, and we had a wall. We had a little wall when I first started.
With little cup hooks.
Yep.
And we'd hang the clipboards.
Right.
And when we got busier, so Chuck or myself would go every morning and we would write down everything that they sold on a piece of cardboard. And we had inventory at that time, so then we'd go check what they sold against inventory. And if we needed to build 4 or 5 or 6, usually we'd build batches, so we'd build 10 or 20, so enough to fulfill the order and to satisfy the Kanban. So
And
we
a
were
little
building,
extra.
And a little extra. Whatever felt right. It was kind of how the day was going. And then we would go and we would switch and write all of that information on a card, which we still use the cards. We call them build orders today. We transfer the information to a card, and that is what flows through production. And when we started getting busier, the little board that we had, which I think it held like 20 different clipboards, we started just putting them on the floor, which was a great visual cue that, hey, we've got a lot of work.
Down the hallway.
Then we went down the hall. Then we went down the stairs.
Down the stairs.
And it was complete and utter chaos at times. But we really had to kind of change and grow quickly. We had to change the way we were doing things, and we learned a lot. We've done a lot of different iterations of how we schedule and plan production, and it's just been a great experience.
Do you remember the line on the floor?
Yep. So that was, I think, when it was getting the worst. We were completely out of control. And a lot of it was we were batching. That's when we were building parts that we didn't need, and we had inventory through the roof, but we weren't shipping on time.
You're too good. Can I mic you up? I don't want to miss that. You don't have to hear what I have to say.
We were extremely just out of control, and Chuck drew a line in the shop floor. He got the entire company together, and he said, we are going lean. It doesn't make perfect sense just yet, but we're going to do it. Yes or no, are you in or out? And if we didn't cross the line, we didn't work there anymore. It was that moment that we decided no more inventory, no more batching. We're going to do one-piece part flow. We believe in it. We'd gone through some trials. We knew that it worked. We just weren't doing it. We were faking it. So from that moment forward, we started getting rid of all of our inventory. We started truly only building the parts we needed, which I was comfortable with inventory. It made me feel warm and fuzzy inside, because if we messed one up, that's okay. Just throw it away. We have another one. It's not a big deal. So we were not able, we were hiding our problems, and we weren't dealing with them, and we weren't fixing them at that time. So from that moment forward, when we made that change, it was just a complete mind shift for everybody.
Tearing shelving out of the warehouses.
We nicknamed ourselves the Kanban Killers, because we had all of our inventory as Kanbans, and every time that we got rid of one, it was just a celebration moment, and we got to go tear down pallet racking. Like, our entire warehouse was full of pallets of stuff that we didn't need, and we just started utilizing it, getting rid of it, and then we had so much space, we're like, we don't even know what to do with all this space now, so much more room for activities. But
we still had a little area where we were still overproducing parts that we couldn't let go of, and we called it our wall of shame.
Yeah.
So it was still hard to put a 10-foot or a 4-foot bar stock in our lathe and machine one part and put it back. So we go ahead and machine it all and keep them over here on the wall of shame. And then it was interesting, when we finally got rid of the wall of shame, about 2 months in, one of the machine operators goes, "Hey, Chuck, I need to come clean." And I go, "What's going on?" He goes, "Well, I've been batching these parts and I've been hiding them." Because it's completely illogical to take a 4x10 sheet of 1/2-inch plate steel, load it into the laser, run it in, cut one washer, take the sheet back out. But when you start thinking about things globally instead of localized optimization, and you start thinking about burying the next person with overproduction, like, and I'm paraphrasing it, and these are the way I interpreted this to happen. Brad works at General Motors, and Brad's stamping car hoods. So general cost accounting says we're going to take our cost for the day, right? And we're going to divide that by the number of hoods you produced, and that's our cost per hood. Yes, that's correct, right?
Logical.
That's how it's done. So the way we lower the cost of hoods is make more hoods. Well, Brad wants to get the gold star. He wants the raise and the promotion. So Brad figures out how to double output. Well, Brad gets a raise. Everybody's exciting. Brad's lowering the cost of hoods. But Shayna's over here, and she's like, I can't put the hoods on any faster, and they're just piling up and piling up, and what do I do with them? So I start moving them. Then you get into transportation waste. We're wasting talent because she's not involved anymore. She's just trying to survive all day long, and just total chaos. But the shining star, Brad's up here. He's working on producing more. When we started looking at localized optimization, like our battle cry here was flow. Everything is about flow. Try to visualize our factory as a flowing river. And we want the water just flowing, so we're going to put the part on the canoe, and it's going to flow down the river. Well, then what we discovered is when we were batching is the canoe would start floating down the river, and then it would just get into a back eddy and just sit here and just not go anywhere. Does that make sense? So we don't want to have Shayna buried and water, that her pond just filling up and damming, and then the water starts to overflow, and we got to warn the villagers downstream what's going to happen. So everything is about flow. And we got so good at it. Was it 2 years ago? We were producing, do you remember the numbers, the dollies a day?
48 is on average, but when we got super busy, we were able to do 96 consistently.
With the same people.
Yep.
And actually got so good at it that when we would slow down, everybody's like, we need something to do. Like, we need a bigger challenge. And I think that was the biggest, that was one of my decisions to finally to sell part of the company, is I didn't feel like I was setting big enough challenges anymore. But when you do impossible things like me, her, Kyle, Clay,
Yeah.
Erica, we did some things. When she first came to work for us, we were building a side puller every 35 hours. Now you're doing one
Every 6 right
every
now is
6
where they're at.
hours. and you see that. And like when we went paperless, everybody in the room was like, you know, we're never going to do it. But she said,
Let's try. We can at least try.
everybody's, you know.
What's the worst that can happen? That's my favorite part of working here. What's the worst that can happen? And if it doesn't work, we can go back. So
Well, one of the things I remember right before I left is we decided we wanted to have marketing closer to sales. So we jacked everybody's desk up. We made our desk, and we have a jack so you can lift them up. Computers and everything move. Windows 13 desk.
yeah,
on a
they're
Friday.
moving 4 upstairs today. They've already got 2 of them done. So
And one of the girls was like, oh, I don't want to move. I'm like, it's okay. We're just going to move you, and if you don't like it, we'll move you back. Oh, you mean, yeah, it's not. That's the wonderful thing of change. If it doesn't work, we'll change it again, and we'll just keep changing it until it gets, well.
better or worse.
And that's probably the problem we've had, is that we got really good at doing something, and then we look back and realize we haven't changed it in a year or 2 years or 3 years, right? What didn't Shingo say? Your process today should be outdated or even operations manual should be outdated in 3 days. Like, you need to be changing constantly. So, anyways, Kristen's amazing. She ran the welding department, and she's a T leader, if you're familiar with that term. It's a Toyota term, T leaders. And so, like, when we had a problem in the laser department, we just weren't where we were at. I asked her if she would want to volunteer and go lead the laser department. Even though she didn't know anything about lasers, she knew our lean culture and our processes, and she took it in there. And then you went from there.
From laser, I went to shipping, and then I've done sheet metal. I've worked in every department. The biggest move that I've had recently was I got to go to marketing. My son was joking with me. He's like, Mom, you can't even turn the TV on. And he's like, they're putting you in marketing? I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? So I got to go learn a lot about marketing and help them get kind of really just getting the processes back in place and asking questions. That's what I'm really good at, is questioning everything and just start the Socratic method. Everybody that works in the department, they know what to do and they know the answers. Sometimes they're just not comfortable. So just starting to ask and really helping them.
Can I ask you a question about that? So you're tossed into the welding department or a new department and say, okay, hey, figure this department out. Do you ever get pushback from the people in that department? Like, hey, she doesn't really know this department. And do you run into people not listening to you or not taking suggestions?
No, I would say because of our culture and the way we are, people are pretty used to it. You don't have to know how to do the work to be able to help. And I think it's really proving that I'm there to help. I'm here for you guys. And when they start to see that, there's a lot of trust that's gained really, really quickly. So
Look, can I put you on the spot here? Because this happened to you. In our company, Kyla went to the CNC department. We said, hey, we need you to go to the CNC department and help them. And within, I don't know, like a week, you were tired of it. You couldn't handle it because no one was listening. And how do we get past that?
Well, and I want to jump in a little bit is, we taught, the first thing is maybe she's not ready, and that's okay. We had a lot of people that we promoted into a team leader or a group leader that we felt was ready, and they just said, man, this isn't working for me. And we had to say, no problem, we need to pull you out of that because we care about you. Also tell everybody on your leadership journey, when you're on the road to becoming a leader, it's about you, but once you become a leader, it's all about them. You know what I mean? But I think more often than not, people weren't ready, and she wasn't tossed in. We had a meeting of the people that are group leaders and asked if somebody would be willing to lead that challenge. And she raised her hand up and said, I'll take that challenge. But we gave her a credible amount of mentoring. And you knew, am I saying this right, that you knew if you needed help, help was right there.
Yep. Yeah, we've always had a great team, and it's never just me. Like, we have a brainstorming team that I can lean back on and say, hey, I'm struggling with this. What do you guys have for suggestions? And then we go back and we try again. So something's not working. But I think really the big thing is getting the people involved, right? So I'm not an outsider coming in. I'm here to help you. I don't know anything, and I need you guys to teach me, right? So just getting right there. And I have always just joined right in with whoever's in the Gemba right there doing the work, and really showing that I'm there to help them and just jump in and start working. It doesn't matter what it is, but being willing to do it, and then just helping, again, by asking the questions, like, why are we doing it that way? And have you maybe thought of this or learned that from him? He'll walk by and you're busy and you're just in the grind. He's like, I can't help but notice. And he'll say some little quick thing and then he'll walk off. And it's like, what did he mean by that? And why did he say it at that moment? And then it really started clicking for me. So now I, in turn, do the same to people. I can't help but notice you seem to be walking an awful long ways to the scrap bin. Have you ever thought about why it's over there? And then you just go off and then start really...
It's really, we had to make sure that we gave Kristen all of the tools she needed to be successful. So one of our drivers in our Hoshin Connery that I wrote was that we want to give everybody the opportunity to succeed. So my question is, did I give her everything she needed to succeed at leading the laser department? Do we have a good support system behind her? Did we give her the lean tools to be successful? Does that make sense?
It does, and I have one more question, and of course this is probably where I fail, because that's my job, seems to be failing. How did you say, I could go and I could jump into a new department and I could help them, but knowing that I had the support system behind me, how do you know, or how did you make her comfortable enough that she could just come to you? Because I find at my company, Kyla's struggling for 2 weeks before I find out about it. And I'm like, hey, I thought you were helping the CNC department. Well, I was, but last week no one's listening, so I stopped doing it. And then I know I'm failing. I'm like, well, but I'm here, or I'm a phone call away, or our leadership team is in the office over there. Like, how did it all fall apart? Like, how do you? Is the question?
Yeah. Well, I think the biggest thing would be to just communication and spending the time. So we used to always meet in the morning. We'd walk around with coffee together, like even if it's 5 minutes. Hey, how's the day going? How was yesterday? We do Hansei. We reflect on the day before and just constantly be communicating. So we've always had group texts where it's like, hey, I need whoever can show up on the drop of a hat. We need 5 people to show up and support me really quick. And some of you can't make it, that's fine, but whoever shows up, we're gonna make the best decision we can and then move on. But it's always just been that constant getting back together. And it's hard when everybody gets busy, but making sure that the meetings are important, even if it's just 5 minutes over coffee.
Are you guys familiar with the term judoka? So, which is automation with the human touch, right? So here's what we say. So the first thing is if we're going to move Kristen into a department, the last team we started was the Pentaveret, and we're going to pick 6 people to be on this Pentaveret team. And anytime anybody sees something going on in that department or anything that needs to go to her attention, we just would shoot a quick text. And she could say, hey, I'm drowning, I need help. Who can come help me? And we would go get her help. Does that make sense? The challenge is, it's a very real challenge. So I learned this from John Shook. On average, did you guys know that in an average Toyota factory, anybody can pull the rope and stop it? So in an average factory, there's around 2,000 employees. And this is for you two. How many times do you think somebody pulls the rope and basically raises their hand and says, I have a problem, I need help a day?
At our factory or at Toyota?
No, at Toyota. So at a typical factory with 2,000 employees, on average, how many times a day does somebody pull the rope, pull the cord and say, I need help?
Per person, I would guess at least 3.
So 6,000 a day? Can I guess?
Do you know the answer?
I don't know the answer, but I feel like 5.
You would say 5 times? On average, 15,000 times a day. You'll see whoever's on red team today, it says, bring me your problems. We don't have enough problems. Why aren't you bringing us your problems? Well, why don't people come to you and say, I'm struggling? Don't want to make them look bad. Don't want to seem weak.
Too busy most of the time.
Yeah, just trying to solve it myself.
Yeah.
There's all these reasons. So we had to start finding ways to celebrate when somebody had a problem. So we started giving away ditch bucks. And they're in 20s, 50s, and 100s. And so when somebody would do something good, give them a ditch buck. Or somebody would, Kyla had a problem today and brought it forward. Let's give her 20 ditch bucks. Yay! And we started celebrating them. And then at the end of the year, we go out and buy all these prizes. We don't need Christmas bonuses. Last time I was here, we did $15,000, $16,000 worth of prizes, and you take your ditch bucks and trade them in for raffle tickets. But it's gratification. But we really need to pick you up and carry you through the building when you say, I've got a problem. Because people, so Zig Ziglar calls it plum disease, and this is in no way directed at you, but he says a lot of people don't want their problems fixed, because if you foul up and fix it, then I can't tell you about it, you about it, and you about it, and it's so much more fun to go home at the end of the day and say, I hate that place. So we come up with the red team, which you'll see out here. There's 3 people on the red team. So at least one other person is extremely well trained in lean. She was a trainer. We wrote our own curriculum, which is pretty amazing. And we'll get them a card at the end of the day. So we use the Andon lights outside. You'll see them. When the Andon light is at green, you're telling the entire company, I'm doing good. When it goes to yellow, you're saying, hey, I'm letting all of you know I'm experiencing a slowdown. And we have it set to 15 minutes?
10 minutes at yellow, yep, and you're getting some local help. So anybody who sees it and is nearby, we train our team leads and our department leads not to respond to yellow lights, because we want them to be able to work on the problem and solve it on their own. So our team leads might be aware of it, but you're going to keep an eye on it from a distance. You're not going to jump right in there and solve their problem. And then if they can't solve it with local help in 10 minutes, they'll turn it to red. Our team leads will get involved at that moment, and they have an additional 15 minutes to try to solve the problem then. And if they can't solve it, we call the red team. The biggest driver for that is that time doesn't slip away from us, because when you're working on a problem, you might end up just in that problem and not realize that hours have gone by. And we've had that happen to us. So we get our red team involved, and they really are looking at the flow overall. They're looking at everything that's involved. They're getting the right people there. If we need to get parts overnighted, they're getting everything found, and they're looking to move resources so that the team lead and whoever had the problem can really focus on the problem when we're taking everything else. And then we're right there to coach them.
But the red team has a card. So we always bring 1 to 2 more people on the team to mentor. And the first thing on the card, it says, remember, we're here to help. We cannot solve the problem. We're here to coach them. They always meet away from the problem and remind each other, Brad, when we go in there, you can't solve the problem. Lynn, you can't solve the problem. We're here to mentor them and be a true lean leader. And then you're going to have Hansei at the end of it to make sure. But because one of the biggest, and the other one is, question was, what is the actual problem?
Yep, and then really looking back too and making sure it doesn't reoccur. Is there anything we can put in place? Does it need a poka-yoke? Does it need, what can we do so we don't have the same problem?
Well, and I'll tell you what led us to make the red team. We're a big meeting company. Like, we meet all the time. Why aren't you guys telling us you got a problem? I have been. And nobody's helping me.
She's been yelling at...
I've been telling my team lead for 3 weeks we got a problem.
100%.
I told maintenance we have a problem. Nobody's helping me. And I said, okay, we are failing you. We're not giving you that opportunity to succeed. And I got to thinking, if my son or daughter was in school and they raised their hand, would you want them to get help? How long would you want? How long before somebody come and responded? 5, 10 minutes?
Yeah, like seconds, right?
Do you want them to solve the problem or coach them through the problem? So,
Well, this tour could be over right now. We've got more than we can implement.
so when we came up with the red team, that was our commitment to you. That when you send that text alert to the red team, that somebody's going to be there within
15
15 minutes.
Yep. Well, responding, we respond within 10 minutes, sorry.
And at least now you know I'm not alone. If I raise my hand and I'm struggling, I'm going to have help. And they're not going to come in and badger me. As a matter of fact, they're probably going to give me a reward for stopping. And we had to really teach everybody that, look, If somebody come in to mow your lawn and they're not sure whether or not to mow the flowers or not, do you want them to just do it or stop? Stop. Everything here is if you're not sure, stop. Stop, stop, stop. And pretty soon it just gets conditioned. Why didn't you stop? I don't know. Well, why don't you know? Were you not properly trained? What can we do to fix this? How can we not fail you the next time? But the company's job is the red team's got to be there. And sometimes the red team just comes and says, I don't know what to do. Let's all take this journey together, though. Right. It's probably, well, there's a lot of the most powerful tool we have.
Yeah.
But it's quite remarkable when you see red team helping accounting, IT, and we were rotating, so somebody from sales might lead it. They just need to understand the 5 whys, A3 reports. And one thing you'll see about our company is if I gave any lean advice, if I went into a company that had graphs, some arrows, I'd tear them all down, throw them away. Like, we're a very simple, most people that are in the manufacturing business that are welding, assembly, are doing it because they don't want to do paperwork and they don't want to do computer work. So we're going to remove as much of that from it. Make sense? All right, let's go.
We did make you guys some name tags if you want to grab a name tag. And I only got the spelling from Chuck, so if it's wrong, it's his fault.
Here's name tags. Just hands them out. They're lean, they're magnetic. Come on in. Remember me talking about employees being part of the biggest asset. So during the recruiting process, you're strategically located right there next to the video games, next to the leader.
So, question for you, I see this, and this is all I want for my people all day long. I'm just like, this whole experience is what I want. But how long did it take you to get to a point where, we literally just couldn't afford to have a 3,000 square foot gym? It's just not in the cards. So, lean has to take hold, the cash has to start coming, and then you can start doing these things.
Well, you remember the bouncing ball? Were you here for that one when we bought all at the desk? Yeah. We had bouncing balls. We used to just, anybody that wanted to meet me, we'd meet in the morning and we'd run around the building. We were doing weightlifting off the rafters, pull-ups. It doesn't have to be like this to start.
Do what you got to do with what you got to do.
And I don't know what comes first or what comes. I mean, here's the thing that I know. If you're not making a profit, you're not going to exist. Right? Zig Ziglar, I love the man. He said, oh no, I'm falling apart. I got it. Zig Ziglar says, I just put these in for today, by the way. Money's not cold, it's warm. I could sleep with it. Goes with any color. And match my eyes. Hey, look at that, it even matches your shirt. Right? With money, you can do things like help a charity, you can help a school, you can help a church, you can help other people, and it's right up there with oxygen. It's better to have than to not have, right? I think the love of money is the other problem, but you need money to do this. But you don't have to have money to want to get better each day. Literally, I surrounded myself with Kristen, Clay, Tammy, Kyle. There was 5 or 6 of us that would meet every morning. We met at noon. We met at the end of the day. We would meet on weekends. And we collectively ran our company. Does that make sense? And I remember an evening in particular, Kristen had her 2 kids out on a folding table at 7 o'clock at night. They're eating McDonald's and she's in welding. You know what, it means a lot to know you're in it together. But creating a shared vision, I can't tell you the companies I go talk to, and if I ask the employee privately, hey Bob, what's the vision of the company? I don't know. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? I don't know. There's a problem. We got to create a shared destiny. Leaders have a vision and a plan. And when we built this building, I mean, I said, we're going to build a building. Let's all look and get a vision. And we worked on this thing for 3 or 4 years, probably.
Before we even started with the actual plan, it was just pre-planning.
So we're going to talk about paradise. And we would hold on to this dream. What does paradise look like? How big would the exercise room be? What would this thing look like? And we had a goal that we just kept working towards. And we just kept putting money aside for it. Like, we're working to the goal, all of us together. Does that make sense? And like, I've often thought, if I took over a losing football program, what would I do? Or if I took over a losing company, like, the first thing I would do is get everybody in a room, and it's our segue into here. And we're going to talk about, is that available to us?
Yeah.
We're going to talk about how we're going to run our company. What are the rules? And we're going to do it as a group. Make sense? And we're going to write down how we're going to run our company, and by God, we're going to go do it. These are kind of fun things. The company used to make fun of me. But our big deal was company lunches. You got to see this one. This is the only one they didn't have to Photoshop. Oh, yeah. These are all different employees. That's awesome. And then there's more. But one thing, we were a company that wants to have fun.
Can you promise not to say anything earth-shattering for 1 minute while I pee?
Yeah.
Okay. Don't let him talk. Not a word.
Right. He's humoring me. Yeah, so this is where what I was talking about out there, creating a shared destiny. When companies would come on a lean tour and they've been doing it, I would say, I remember the one, they were a cabinet company, I think 300 employees, and they'd been back like their 5th time, and they were really struggling. And I said, if we lined up 300 employees, and I said, what does Genchi Genbutsu mean? How many people would know? And they didn't think a single person would know.
Can we test our team? Genchi Genbutsu, what does it mean?
Show of hands, do you know what it means?
Show of hands first.
I've definitely heard it a lot. Does it mean noticers?
Yeah, but we'll break it down even further when we get there, because it's a revelation when you really break it down. But what I'm getting at is, even Kaizen, what does Kaizen mean? They didn't know. And so we realized that we had better get this stuff written down. So the first thing is, when Kristen and I and the rest of our group leaders first heard the term T leader, I thought it was a Toyota leader, the T.
Yeah.
Well, then we understood it's, when you become a T leader, your roots have grown, you're starting to branch out the T or the arms of the tree. So we thought, well, hey, we're going to write a definition of what it takes to become a T leader and what your journey would be like here. So Kyla, you would be, day 1 to 3, you're probably going to be in this team leader. But in 3 to 5 years, you could probably see yourself as a department leader. And in 7 years to a lifetime, you would get to become into the T leader realm.
And in other news, deep down, we all know how important training is. And let's face it,
none of us are doing a very good job of it. Training gets ignored, put off, and then even when we take the time to do it, is the new person 1 getting the same training as new person 2? We can never figure that out. We've come up with a solution to help you systematize your training. At Kaizenify.app, we've got the training matrix. One of the huge benefits to this matrix is it's a visual system. You can see everybody's name down one side and the task down the other, and who's where. And this gets people really excited about learning new tasks. Then, one of the most important parts is safety. We want to make sure that everybody's safe and they're not jumping on equipment they're not qualified to use. Go to Kaizenify.app, get your 60-day free trial, get your training matrix set up today.
And then this is the thing that has really, man, I've met some interesting people. Alex Romero's there.
I was just hanging out with him for a week last week in Texas.
Bob from Steelcase. I would consider him a pretty good friend. We're communicating a lot, and all of us are talking about culture. And it's always interesting to me, we're pretty well known for this, but if you really break it down, it's stuff we learned when we were in first grade. We all hold hands when we cross the street. Don't take what's not yours. If you hurt someone, say you're sorry. Remember, the snowflake never blames itself for the blizzard, and the water drop never blames itself for the flood, right? It wasn't me, it was them. The difference is, and I think Chris can validate, if I did one thing right, it's we held people accountable to these. When we cross, so this street out here, if we go broke, ain't nobody coming in to help us. So we're gonna cross this street together. And if one of you works for us is gonna kick us out in the street, we're gonna get you out of here. So a team player always tries to make the other person look good. If sales wants production to look good, they're gonna write a sales order up so production can read it. If production wants the laser department to look good, and it goes on and on. So like when Kristen would be evaluating somebody, Chuck, I don't know about this Bob guy. I don't know if he's gonna make it. Well, has he been a team player? Not really. Do you feel like he holds hands when we cross the street? No. You see what I mean? And we use this. This probably ran the company more than anything. Wouldn't you say, Kristen?
Yes, absolutely.
And this is something that we came up with as a group. And we said, this is the rules to work here. So get one thing straight, Brad. We are non-negotiable when you come into this company. This is our company, and you come to work here, you're going to fulfill our vision on how we want our company to run. Get it? You're not going to come in day one and start telling us we don't know what we're doing. Right. Non-negotiable. And I think so many companies mess that up because they let bad attitudes. Poor Kristen, she's heard this stuff over and over, but Applebee's restaurant. If I hired you to manage the Applebee's restaurant, can you change the jingle on day one? No. Can you change the uniform? Can you change the way we cook hamburgers? No. Your job is to fulfill the vision of how we run our Applebee's restaurant. Now, after a while, you start to catch the Applebee's bug and you're like, now I know why. Now you could start helping make change. But you gotta learn lean terminology. This is our version of lean. So what was the word we were talking about a minute ago? Genchi Genbutsu. Mm-hmm. So go and see, go to the real source to gain firsthand knowledge. Immerse yourself in the process to get a full comprehension. The story I like to tell is one of our engineers, I think you were in nesting, weren't you?
I was, yeah.
In a hallway, I swear to God, 2 computers stand up.
It was once the janitor closet, to be clear. We put a door on it.
And they were struggling. And I asked one of the engineers to go Genchi Genbutsu. So he comes downstairs and an hour later goes, yeah, I went down there and computer was too slow. And I said, no. Go immerse yourself. You're going to go down there for 2 days and you're not coming back. 2 days later, he came back and he goes, my God, is it hot down there? They have no air conditioning. I can't believe how slow the computers were. It's a wonder they can get anything done. And just went on and on, that he never would have learned. You know, I not to get political, but back when they were talking of defunding the police department and all this, I couldn't help but wonder if people hadn't gone Genchi Genbutsu and rode with law enforcement day in and day out for 2 or 3 days, then make a decision. Make sense? What are some other good ones? Let's see.
So my favorite is I accept the challenge. So that makes us willing to do anything. Any crazy idea that we have, we accept the challenge, and that's where that try first comes in, right? We don't know how to do it. We don't know how to figure it out, but that is the one thing that has made it to where we can do anything. Accept the challenge, figure it out later.
We struggled a lot with automation and judoka, but the one that I think that really was an interesting one for me is poka-yoke. So when we first learned the term poka-yoke, we called it poka-yoke, but it's poka-yoke. I saw it as a device that prevents defects. So we would do poka-yoke and defects were still happening. I'm like, well, this blows. It don't work. Really pissed me off, and we were frustrated by it. I went back and I kept rereading it. Remember we talked about Genchi Genbutsu? When I read it again about 20 times, it's a device or procedure designed to help prevent them. It doesn't say it will prevent them. And when I understood it's just there to help, then we realized we need judoka. So when we started to see we had a problem, Kyla doesn't want, or is struggling down there, much like judoka, we're going to surround her. When we have a robot failing us, we're going to surround it with humans. And this is, God is my witness, as I pay people to stand there and do nothing but watch the laser, because it kept making mistakes. It's like you turn your back, shit. And we're going to get close to it, and we're going to get around you, Kyla. And as you get more comfortable, and then we're going to step back, and then we're going to step back. Much the same with poka-yoke. Make sense? We had a catastrophic event happen here on our trailer hitches and our towing dollies. One of them was when we put in our robot, simple, right? We have 3 or 4 robots, 4 welding robots running right now. One's a dual arm monster, but cool thing about a robot, you clamp a part in, drag the person off the street, push the button, holler if you have any problems, right? What we didn't realize is that the robot will make perfect defects. So we had a bunch of product, probably a week's worth, ship, and then we discovered poor weld qualities. And I would lay in bed at night with my stomach churning, thinking that somebody could get hurt from this. We recalled all of the products. It was hundreds of thousands of dollars because we weren't managing our poka-yoke. We didn't understand that it needs continuous improvement. If you don't have this, so when you read this and learned it and understood it, you got a quarter an hour raise. We have a mentoring. People will mentor you before work, after work. When you first take this test, you do it in front of a board of people. And then now Kristen has evolved into an actual 8-hour training class.
Yeah, so all new employees go through the training, and it's just 1-hour classes. We do them twice a week. and everybody gets this. And then they actually really understand the history of it, why it's so important to us, and why this is our version. Because you can Google these terms and learn so many different variations of it, but this is why we use it in this way, and it's what it means to us.
You know, it's funny, when I was in Japan, I went on one of Carl's tours to Japan, and Norman Bodek was with us, and he was at the front of the bus, and he said that exact thing. He goes, guys, the things you see, the things you're gonna learn, the 8 deadly waste, that's Toyota's version to help them build cars. You have to do your version. And honest to goodness, it made no sense to me. I'm like, but that's the 8 deadly waste. Like, how can I make it my version? And it wasn't until, 10 years later, and now I'm hearing you say the same thing, and I'm like, oh my God, it's
Well, Paul Akers has 3S.
yeah.
We have 6S. Because we felt the number one problem with 5S is people didn't have a solid plan going into it. So our first one is
Study.
study. Study what it is you're trying to do and get some
Yeah,
help.
we say get with at least 2 other people that have taken their lean tests, so we have the right people to help make the plan.
If we want you to be successful, we want you to study what it is. So if I tell you to 6S your desk, you got to understand what it means. So get with 2 people that passed all their tests and make a plan. Now go do it. Then the next question is, what does it take to be a leader around here? I want to lead. So this thing was huge for me. Remember me telling you out there when I had my head hung low because how are we going to get perfect people like me? I had this, but we had follow the processes is number one. Like, you had to follow the processes. And it kept failing. Well, then I understood hope you hear what I said. I understood that Toyota's, when they were trying to look for a leader, the very first thing they were looking for is somebody that was willing to commit to self-development. Ooh, I'm going to change this because I'm trying to get people that won't even commit to their own personal well-being to follow our improved processes, and they're not going to do it. So we switched it around. So one, when we're looking at promoting you, are you committed to self-development? Like during the interview process, who mentors you? Are you reading any positive books? You got to understand and represent the culture. If you're not going to do this when I'm not looking, we don't want you in the leadership role. We got to know you're defending this company. Are you willing to coach and develop others? Are you supporting daily improvement, and are you participating? When we have the damn 3-legged sack race, you're in the... You don't understand the crazy, funky stuff we've done here. Disco dancing, like...
Yeah, we made a human foosball table out of
videos
pallets,
online.
and we took 20-foot sticks of bar stock and put pool noodles on them, and we had people in there. We set them a little bit too close so people are actually able to kick the crap out of each other. We had people show up after work. We had foosball games for 3 days before we finally tore it down. It was so much fun. Yeah, absolutely.
Rocket building, we've had mouse races.
We did Hungry Hippos with carts and laundry baskets and balloons across the
Ropes
street.
tied on people and
So you'd
shove them
throw
out there.
people out there on the floor
And they had to
creepers.
grab the balls and fight. Dodgeball.
Oh yeah,
That got a little too
dodgeball.
violent.
The day that they built that building and we got to move into it at IWS, we played dodgeball in the shop, and there's still dents in the
Dents
wall
in the
to this
wall.
day. We get a little violent. We're very competitive.
I have a question before we move on. So you have this whole support system to grow people and build them into leadership. Do you have the same kind of Andon system and a red team that if these guys are struggling with something with a team or a management issue, not a process issue? Do you have the same?
Yeah, we don't have an Andon for this, but we do. It's the same exact red team.
Okay.
Same exact red team. If you're struggling here, you can call the red team and say, I'm struggling with an individual. Can you give me some advice? And we have books bookmarked. Jack Welch's Winning is phenomenal. Sorry, I keep jumping in.
Oh, you're fine.
So excited to be here again.
You're excited?
But the red team is very well trained to say, hey, this is getting over our head. Let's get Debbie from HR involved. Or why don't you take this book and read this chapter and let's meet tomorrow. And usually when I have you read that chapter, you come in the next day and the person ain't here anymore.
Yeah, I mean, because this is why this fails, right? They get themselves into a situation that they can't handle, and then the other, you know, whoever it is that they're working with knows that they've exceeded their capability and their skill set, and then it's game over at that point. But with this, it's always evolving. It's so
Come with me.
always getting better, and then we don't have to give up on someone, and they didn't lose. You know, it's just, it works for everybody.
Do you know what I'm seeing? Like, I'm so blown away right now. Twice I've almost cried today. And if
That
I
makes
talk to
two of us.
anybody, I'm like, I have the emotions around my thing. This, it takes away 95% of all of the management you have to do for a company. You're right at the beginning. You're like, yeah, you're not going to be a manager on day one because look at the trees. Just look at those trees. You know exactly your plan. Step two, look at, if you can do these behaviors, welcome. If you can't, we set you free. You know.
Yeah, and
These
this
are the
place
things
isn't for everybody.
Yeah, these are the things you have to learn. When you know these things, then you can, like, this is just, God, you guys are so good.
Yeah, but what you don't understand, nobody understands. Hey! Come here! I need you. Oh no, good to see you. But I wanted, you can be my translator. These are all Canadians.
They're from St. Thomas too.
Yeah.
I'm from Port Dover.
Oh, no way. That's on the street.
We read this thing this morning. He's like,
Here's Steve.
Yeah, see you later.
Nice to meet you.
See ya. I'd always tell Jason, I'm like, do you need me to slow down when I talk to connect? Because I don't understand the language.
Yes.
Nice to see you.
Okay.
Just throw a few E's in there.
Yeah.
So what nobody understands, you were Mr. Hospitality.
Oh, sorry. Look, let me tell you about my son, my middle son, Ben. Played college football, was a triathlete, Ironman, if you're familiar with that stuff, after college. How do you do it? He said, I never would have done it if I would have known I would have had to run 22 million wind sprints in my life. Or what I'm getting at is the hard work and the grind. This is hard work. There's a lady named Amy Trask, who was the first female president in the NFL. I'm a Raider fan. Al Davis hired her, and he didn't hire her because he was told to. He hired her because she was the best person for the job. And in her book, she says, young girls come up to me and they ask me, how do I do what you did? And she says, work hard. Then work harder than you ever thought possible. And then just keep working harder. This is hard work. I don't know how many times we've gone home slamming the door at one another. There was a period of probably 45 to 50 days I couldn't walk back into the building. I was so heartbroken because we wouldn't follow processes. And we've laughed, we cried. There's a lot, I'm feeling emotions right now. I mean, this is hard work. And most people won't do it. Like, I get so furious. We would do these lean tours and people would come here and I would say, okay, they go, what's the first thing to do? Take the trash cans out. Not one of them would say, well, where do I get lean tape? We would see them 6 months later, they'd come back on a tour. Hey, did you get them trash cans? No. Then what are you doing here? You're wasting our time. Like, this is an all day, every day, go. Meet. You got to take the journey together. It will never work if you don't take the journey together, ever. It's like, you just don't know how hard it is. But the thing is that it's available for anybody that wants it. Like Toyota here, you guys know, right? Even right now, I believe it's still going. They're giving their renewable energy patents away free. Who does that shit? And why? Because they believe if you give back, if the water in the harbor goes up, all the ships go up. That's why we did so many lead tours. 1, 2, sometimes 3 a week. Do any of you guys have time in your day to do a lead tour? No. But we would always get such things out of it. Does that make sense? But I don't know. It's hard work, but it can be so wonderful. I mean, so wonderful. This company changed my life. And I think we positively had an impact on a lot of people's lives.
A lot of people's lives, absolutely, especially where we are, and giving people the opportunity to take it as far as you want. I came in as an hourly employee running one of our welding robots, and now I get to make decisions for the entire company overall every day. So, and there's people that have worked here for the same amount of time that I have, and they don't want that same opportunity. They want to come in, they want to do their job, and that's it, and that's fine too. We have a job for those people as well.
I met with a guy yesterday, and ironically in the construction business, and he's kind of asking me some questions on lean. Like, I brought him a broom. It's 36 inches wide. It's a Blondie from Harper Brooms. Because I was watching them guys sweep, and they have a broom, an 18-inch wide broom. I'm paying this guy $35 an hour. So I just brought him this new blue, try it. And I said, what's the goal of your company? He goes, I want to be the biggest in the state of Idaho. Wow. I thought you might want to be the most profitable. So what is it that you're after? Like, we were never about being big. We were never once about being, I never had a budget. Never, ever did we set financial goals. Well, we did towards the end, we had some, but for the most part, we would ask each department, Kristen, is the laser department better today than it was yesterday? If the answer was yes, keep going. If the answer was no, where can we help you? And if we could just get each one better each day, it just took care of itself. I don't know. It's just pretty crazy. I was telling them how much money we ship overseas. It's crazy. 6S, of course, the 8 waste, if you don't know this and you're not continually preaching it. The PDCA, and this was interesting to me. I like to talk about PDCA because when people mention PDCA to me, I'm like, you talking Japanese? What is this? I couldn't grasp it until we just said, we're gonna make a plan. Today, we're gonna do a PDCA on this tour. We're gonna make a plan, go on the tour. We're gonna go do it. At the end of it, we're gonna check on the results. And then we're gonna act, adjust. And we added abandon, because sometimes we would get to the end of a project and go, yeah, that wasn't very smart.
That's my favorite one. I had some of the most breakthrough moments here from bad ideas, and I learned the most. It's like, we are never doing that again. But just being able to actually go through and try that process and not being afraid to fail, huge for us. We still do it.
Yeah, I think you've done an amazing job, and I would love to maybe just comment on it. Like, how do you encourage people to fail? Because ever since we're kids, why'd you do that? Why'd you spill that? How come that, and then we're, as adults, we take that forward. And then in our factories, we're like, hey, we want you to experiment, go try it. And the whole world is afraid of that,
Well, Brad, if there's any former employees watching this video, they will comment that Chuck failed on that level incredible amounts of times. And I continue to fail as a father, yelling and getting upset at kids. And when people would make a mistake around here, I would ask for their head on a stick. Clay, how are you? Hey, perfect, you got a red team deal. Clay is a group leader around here, and what are you doing now? Leading pretty much everything, production-wise? Say hi. Tell them about the red team card.
All right, I don't know how much you touched on it already, but we have the red team. So with our Andon light system, we have several different lights. We have blue, which means we're waiting on either material or an operator. We have the cell ready to run. We have green, means everything's running good, everything's smooth, we're meeting our takt time. Then we have yellow, which means we're struggling a little bit. We're either not going to hit our takt time, right, or we're having an issue with something, we need some assistance. We call it local help. We want the people around there to come help when the light is yellow. A timer is started where you have 10 minutes to get that solved. So the other people around come help, we get back on track, right? Once that 10 minutes is up, then the light turns to red. You have 15 minutes on red. That's when the team lead or the department lead would step in and help. Once the 15 minutes is up on that for a total of 25 minutes, then we call the red team. So we have it on part of our internal server where you hit the button on there, and we have 3 people on the red team. We're varying the people on it now, trying to grow more leaders, lead leaders. They're gonna come and they're gonna come help you. They're not gonna come solve your problem. They're gonna come, they're versed in lead problem solving, and they're gonna come ask you questions, right? They're gonna use the Socratic method. They're gonna come help and guide you in the right direction to get that solved and get back up and down. So, they all wear a button. I brought some buttons so you guys can see them. Now we have these cards, so it's just a quick reminder, right? So we need to respond within 10 minutes. The red team needs to meet as a group before you walk into that situation, so everybody's on the same page. We're all on the thing. Remember, our goal is not to solve the problem for them, it's to steer them in the right direction to solve the problem for themselves, right? We want them to grow, we want them to learn. So we wrote that down so we can meet together and go, okay, this is what we're doing going into this, right? Yeah. We want to use the Socratic method. We want to find out what is the problem, right? We want to use the 5 whys, that kind of stuff, so we're getting to the root cause of the problem. What do we need to do to get it back up and running? Who is the best people that can help us? Who has the most knowledge of whatever this is? Let's get them involved because they're going to do the best job of helping us. What resources do we need to move? Do we have operators that we need to go, right? Where is serving for the day? Where is the bottleneck? Do we need to reallocate those resources till we get this up and running? What flow needs to be changed? So what's coming, right? What's coming here that we got to reroute and change upstream, and what's it going to affect downstream, and what do we need to reroute to keep that moving? What can we do to prevent this from occurring again? So we want to put a Poke-Yoke in place, right? We want to put something in there. After that, we want to meet as a group, and we want to do Hansei. So as the red team, right, we want to go, how did we handle that? And what could we have done different? What worked? What didn't work? What do we want to do the next time we have that? That's about it. On the back, you can see we put, what's the problem? Who did we have to get involved? What resource allocation? What changes the flow? We all carry a what erase, and we can just write that on there as we're going.
Sure, Chris, and we get you copies, or Clay would at the end of the tour. Awesome.
I love that. Oh my God. I love that the highest level, your Navy SEALs, your red team, still has a card that still reminds them of the most basic things. Like, hey, let's not solve that problem for them because I'm the worst. I'll jump in and be like, well, let's just do that. And I know, and then 5 seconds later, I'm like, that was stupid.
Well, that goes back to what you asked me when I was standing there is, I like to believe I'm this calm, lean leader that asks all the right questions, and I fail over and over and over and over. And so we all continually try to remind each other, be a lean leader and follow these, but do that. Don't ask for their head on a stick, and you know what I mean. And it's really hard to be that person you want to be. It's really, really, really hard, especially here. Roughly 120 employees when we're at our peak, and you're trying to find the exact amount of work to keep them busy. Because if you have too much work, you're overworking everybody. If you don't have enough work, they're worried about getting laid off. And so you have all that stress on it, and then you got a person that can't put a damn whatever in a waste paper basket, and I will tell you, at times I've been a raving lunatic around here. because you get so passionate about what it is we're trying to do. Clay was there in the beginning, right along Kristen, and we took the journey together, and I was telling them all the emotions we've all gone through, from threatening to quit to threatening to, like I said, there was, I think, 45 days I couldn't even walk in the building anymore. I was that gutted about what was going on here. These guys brought me back in, and so.
I like that card because it is really empowering people to call you.
Yeah, but you know what?
You can tell me that all day long, but the card reminds me, don't forget, you have the power to do this. You can do this today. It's like continuously.
But here's the problem: when I left here, we were still only getting one a day, one every other day. Not
about the same,
20,
yeah.
30 a day that we were hoping. So you still got people. But I will tell you what, I mean, we became like the Gestapo on the Andon lights. Not using your Andon light, reset, go. We're going to run our company this way. Yeah, it's a bunch of bullshit. Yeah, well, then you can't work here. Like, we had to get to that point.
Well, it's nice now. It's fun to watch lights go from green to yellow to back to gray, right? And just kind of watch from a distance and see that happen. It's, we know we're growing leaders, but it's awesome.
Let's walk out there if we can. They're going to break for lunch, and I want you to see it humming. Can you?
Thank you.
You want to answer that now or wait?
Nice to meet you guys.
Thank you. Nice to meet you. Appreciate it.
At some point, I wouldn't mind coming back and talking about this. So the thing that I want to tell you about this, and this is very important. I don't want you to see out there yet. Hold on. All right. So I went to Trumpf in Germany. Trumpf's a family-owned company. I think last year they did 2.4 billion. I meet at Switzerland. I'm outside the factory. The president of the company says, "Welcome to the Garden of Eden." I said, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Beyond these doors, everything is perfect." So as we were walking through the factory, tack time would go off, horn would sound, doors would roll up, vendors are delivering the product at the exact moment they needed it. I said, "How do you get your vendors to do that?" And he goes, "Why wouldn't you?" I said, "Well, no, what if their car breaks down?" He goes, "We're Swiss, we do not let our cars break down." I said, "Yeah, but what if they can't get the product? Why would they let us down, Chuck? They're a very important partner in our company." "Yeah, but what if an employee's sick? Why would an employee be sick?" "Well, what if one of your machines breaks down? Why would our machine break down?" And he really started making me mad. And it took me about 2 years to figure it out. Kristen was there, Clay, and I said, "Look, we're going to build paradise. And in paradise, vendors are never late. So if a vendor's never late, how much product should we stock? How many nuts and bolts should we stock if the vendor's never late? How many machines should we have if ours never broke down, right? Instead of having 3 bandsaws, what if we only had 1? What would we dress like? What would the music be? What would the lighting be? What would the coffee pots look like?" And we sat down and we said, "We are going to build a factory that operates in paradise." And now I pray that if I asked any of the leaders, "Well, Fastenal is late delivering parts," she would say,
Why is the vendor late?
"So then," and you'll remember this from me, and you learn the pain of calling me, when Fastenal was letting us down, somebody said, "Why are they letting us down?" Clay says, "I don't know. I'm going to get you Gembutsu." He went to Fastenal, spent a day with them, changed the ordering process, found that if we made smaller batch sizes ordered, they wouldn't let us down. In the end, what I'm trying to say is, welcome to paradise. this is our R&D department. So we couldn't find anybody to make the right pegboard, so we made our own. We made all of our own accessories. Little plug for Paul.
This is a mention for.
So we tried to standard everything. This is the R&D 1, R&D 2. These are all cells. You like that sign? We made our own bars, right? So they make these big steel ones so the forklift, when they hit it, knocks your teeth. So we mounted springs on them. And then we made our own bollards for our racks.
Oh, yes.
She has a training session where she has you, how long is it?
They do 30 minutes.
30 minutes.
It's just an exposure. So we have them pick an area that they're unfamiliar with and just go observe and write down what they noticed. And then we turn their notes over to the team lead of the department and see if there's anything that can be gained from it.
Okay. I see a robot coming. It's off the cloud. It's all web-based. Yeah. We couldn't find anybody that could make a crane in time, so we made our own. So that's a model Justin, Kyle, and Chuck, February of 21. So we try to give the credit away. So our laser tower, we even built our own mezzanine. They didn't have one that we liked, so we just made our own.
Handbook, and now, you know, you just start to see everything.
A lot of work. Oh, we had to put instructions on this, so eliminating excuses. Paul, go back to Ryan, where the question is asked, the answer was B. Well, how do I use this? So we made our own keyboard mounts. We made our own TV screens that pivot on here. Like, they used to reach over here to grab all the tools, and now everything is right here. We modified all the carts. These are the Minomi carts, if you're familiar with them. I'll show you over here. Another neat thing we did is line this with rubber so it wasn't so loud when they were dumping. So can you tell how the factory's running? See all the green lights? That one has extra capacity. We call these our Minomi carts, a term we learned from Toyota. We think we're using it properly, but it's basically the laser department wants the press brake to look good. They're going to put the parts in the exact order that they need to take them out and bend them. And then they put the bent parts in the order that the next line needs them. So we spent a lot of time building all of these. A lot of time. We made our own press brake tooling parts and then put color identifiers so that the tooling all matches the color so they're not putting in the wrong one.
So one big thing too is getting the tooling carts for every machine right here close to them. So we do hundreds of tooling changes a day. Most production will set up and they'll bend everything that takes that tool set so they don't have to change it. We believe in quick changeover, so we use SMED, and these guys will, even if the next one in line takes the same tooling setup, they'll stay diligent to the process, bend one, because they can get the next person working on it before they go and do another one. So we don't do batch production here.
It's incredibly challenging to not want to come through here and pick all the same part. First in, first out. Non-negotiable. We are going to satisfy our customers' needs. So we talk about going through a drive-through restaurant, right? All of you guys pull up, and each of you in a car, Lynn makes her order, then you make your order, and you make your order. How would you feel if they said, we're going to cook them all at once? Then you wait till the last one's done, and then you all go to pay for it, and you overwhelm the cashier then you're getting cold hamburgers. Learn how to process. Like, you got to go with what you know. I know we're going to do one-piece part flow and we're going to deliver that customer order. So by God, we're going to do it. No matter how tempting. And always remember too that inventory is a drug we're never going to get hooked on, ever. So we named all the robots. We got Mo, Curly,
And Larry. Larry's broke
Larry.
down right now.
Larry's
yeah.
broke.
And oh my God,
It's just like dancing.
all right, I gotta get out of the way. All right. See the hand fall to the plane. It's
Work instructions, we created our own CAC time system, scheduler, so that everybody knows. Like, I watched one of your videos this morning, and I think the thing we learned from the Leiker Institute when they were here is if I work here, how do I know whether I'm winning or losing? You gotta have a scoreboard. Like watching a basketball game, if there's no scoreboard, right? Everybody's running back and forth, but you don't know whether you're winning or losing. It's hard to even cheer them on. So we want you to know at noon, you can go home if you met all the tack times. Man, I feel good about myself.
And in other news, if you like what you just heard about measuring, you are going to want to stay tuned for this. Imagine you're flying your airplane along at 30,000 feet and you have absolutely no gauges. What's the chance that you actually get to your destination? I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's not very likely you're going to take the shortest, most efficient route without running out of gas. So at Kaizenify, we've created an entire manufacturing performance dashboard. So your team has the information when they need it. And when do they need it? Daily. Your financial statements are not worth the paper they're written on when it comes to evoking change on the shop floor. Nobody wants to hear about your sales or your net profit or loss. We need to give them measurements they can take action on. We've developed 4 specific measurements that apply to the people on the shop floor. The other critical factor that we want to know every day is, are we making money? Are we on track to hit our targets this month? And with the over-the-line chart, you get that information daily. Data drives decisions. Let's get your people the right data so they can make the right decision. If this sounds interesting, visit kaizenify.app for your 60-day free trial.
We become a very reliable company.
We operate very flexible cells, so this cell production is constantly up and down, so we can run 2 people in here or we can run 6 people in here. So it all depends on the workload, and everybody's cross-trained within the department to go where the work is.
I'm looking at this fixture and I can already see that it manipulates around and holds things in place, and like this
Goes up and down, spins.
Yep.
Wow. Did
She's
you
got
guys
a
create that whole thing?
How are you? Good.
Did you guys build that whole thing?
Yeah.
Everything you see, every cart. We just got tired of people letting us down. I call it eliminating excuses. Get shit
Oh, hi,
done.
Jen.
Now, the first ones we made were 2x4 with a bolt. So we don't use any ERP systems. This is all the steel of this company, 30 plus million a year. It's a pretty complicated ordering process. Brad, how many pieces of tubing do we need to order? 4. Brad, how many are on order? 3. When do they due?
5 to 6 days.
No, May 6th,
Oh, May 6th.
today. Where do they come from? What is the description? What are the lead times? When the 4 pieces come, or 3, they'll erase it. Hang the card back up. We don't have to jump on our phone or our ERP system that says we have 20 pieces, but we only have 3. And then here's the one purchasing always says, yeah, but you don't get a very good deal on that many. Well, how good a deal should I get to have it stacked outside rusting and move it 25 times? We reach out to the vendor and say, we're going to buy 20,000 of these this year, but we only want 4 a day. Would you give us the same price? Many times they're like, oh God, yes, I'd rather deliver smaller quantities. See the tape heating machine? It's a pizza oven. It heats the tape in the window. It heats the tape that holds the stainless on. That thing, that's 10 years ago.
That's a real pizza oven?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what's funny? That reminds me, when I was at Yellow Tools, Michael, he said the accountant was, or the monitor was going through his books, and he's like, there's no way, it's the same thing. There's no way you have a pizza oven in your factory. And Michael's like, well, let me show you. And he runs the machine. He's like, look, we use a pizza oven. And he's like, oh, there's no way you have this.
You want me to grab one for you?
Put it on our laser. Come check out this. And the guy, within a half an hour, he's like, never mind, you're fine.
He was here.
Was he?
Yeah. He's quite a character.
He's one of my favorite. You ride motorcycles? Well, any of y'all are trick. Me and Michael and some other guys once a beer on them all when they were riding motorcycles.
I got a KTM 350. I don't know if I can keep up.
That's a pretty good one, Chuck.
So here's another Minomi cart. So everything hangs on. You know, everything has a spot. And then these are pretty cool. When they laser cut the tubing, you could maybe explain it.
Yeah, so they put it in the order as it comes off the laser, setting it up for the robot. When the robot welds it, they set it in a different order, and then it comes back here and gets the rivets put into it. And so we're constantly moving where it is on the cart, but this cart goes from start to finish with everybody set up perfectly.
Right to shipping. They ship right off of it. You've seen laser tube cutters run, right? We made our own ramp because Mazak sells a drawer, so every time you cut a part, you slide the drawer out. And their thinking was you're going to cut 50 or 100 of them, and then you have a whole drawer to empty. So we made our own.
So it just kicks out the one that it cut.
Brad, this is our motto: ordinary people doing extraordinary things. Andon lights are motion sensors in the stalls, so you don't waste time going in there. But everybody goes, ooh, now you know if they're in there wasting time. I'm like, that's not what it's for. I would challenge you to go in there. I haven't been in any of them bathrooms in 6 months. Go tell me what they look like, would you?
Do you want the good news or the bad news?
Is it clean? No.
First stall still had toilet paper in the toilet. Second stall had toilet paper on the floor.
Oh, no.
Third stall had poop in the toilet.
No way.
I cleaned the poop one because I was supposed.
Are you serious?
Yeah. But other than that, everything was clean. In 8 seconds, it could.
That's a heartbreaker.
That's at my shop. It's funny. I'm the same way with the bathrooms. Like I lose my mind. Like it's the only place where I scream and yell. We had like a pube on the toilet about 3 months ago. I stopped the whole place and brought everyone in the bathroom. Like this does not happen.
That's a shocker to me.
How was the girls' bathroom? There you go.
So this is one of the places where we found time, but I don't think people understand. When we were trying to find more capacity, the knobs, we would clean them every day, and that was probably 5 minutes. And you have 3 sinks, it's 15 minutes every day. And this is how it gets away from you. 15 times 5 times 52, 3,900 minutes divided by 60, 65 hours a year. cleaning the tap. I don't know where the trash is, but
Oh, trash is coming through. So we bring the dumpster through twice a day actually. So everybody doesn't have to walk out to the dumpster. We drive it through and everybody
Oh, no
meets
way.
it at the road. Yeah.
That's smart.
Place your wrap first. That
On
other
those?
Yeah.
and we made all these products. We even made our own locker because nobody makes a locker that holds a welding helmet.
You have a lot of manual welding cells. Like, how do you make the determination of should we have a robot welding that or should we have a person welding that?
Almost always it came down to no more capacity on the robots.
Oh, really?
And then you got to ask yourself, so for fitment on a robot, the part fitment needs to be half of the wire diameter. So then you got to ask yourself, can I fixture this thing reasonable and reach all of the point? Like, how feasible is it?
Right.
But I do want you to look, so we care about the people welding, right? So every person has 2 monitors. How many welding shops do they get that? So they got clear work instructions,
I've never seen a welding cell this clean in my life.
power lift table. We built all this. We built all of this. We did all the ducting. We built the tables. See the vacuums we mounted on the wall? And then it sucks the fumes out the end of the welding gun to keep it clean because we want you to be able to breathe and have a good light. Yeah, we made that.
Yeah, I like that. Jim, I like this.
We let everybody name them. That's Jurassic Spark because it's the twin arm robots.
Oh.
Yeah, let's go to the back of this one. Oh, can you hold it for 1 second? Okay. It's hard to see, but it'll.
It's not going to crash. It's going to behave perfectly.
Then
Why
a
would our
laser's going to
robot
come
crash
down and
into
look and identify that the part's in the right spot. It's making sure that.
Why
the
would
right
our wires
fixture
stick
with a
out
touch
and there be
point.
buildup?
Now it likes it. Now it's going
More
to start
programming.
welding.
Dr. Caden.
It was interesting when we bought our first robot.
Yeah.
They tried to talk me out of it. They go, "You're just
be
not
out of
high
it."
enough volume." These only work for people that do a lot of welding. Probably 20 to 30 changeovers
Yeah,
a day.
it's
for a
going to work
robot.
fine.
We made our money making lots of small run batches and got really good at it. But you would ask them, well, what's a lot? Like 10, 100, 1,000? Oh, a lot. Like you need to make hundreds of things. Hundreds of big things or hundreds of small things? Well, just a lot. I don't know if you guys are catching this or not. Everything we did here was to make that person's life easier. And in doing so, you understand it was never done to be self-serving. Like, we could have made a lot more money by whipping people for a while and not spending money on lights. But if you want to build a long-term vision that's sustainable, you start putting other people first, and then the money follows.
You're sending people home with a full cup again. So powder racking, they're putting parts on the line. An hour and a half, we have good parts coming off that are ready to assemble. So this is crazy. Everything has a process for hanging it the exact same way. Doesn't matter who's down here racking, it's going to be the exact same every time. So the guy in the booth can depend on it. If something's wrong or off, if they're missing a part or it's not bent quite right, they spot it every time because they're used to that consistency. So it really, really helps. They know. They catch more things down there. They're like, because they stand there and they're spraying powder and they're like, wait a minute, this one wasn't like the last one. So they catch things. They have a card up there where they can take things off the line and we can address that issue very, very quickly and get it back on the line. So very consistent.
Hold on, I got to show them whenever you wanted to buy something around here.
No.
I'm gonna do drop the power set, so that one.
So this is our hardware department, our supermarket, if you will. So that used to be the hardest part of assembly for us, was finding the hardware, making sure it was the correct hardware, and everybody could put it together. So we've centralized everything. It's all in one place. We have one person that's accountable to making sure the hardware's there. We added a pick-to-light system. It's actually down right now. We have a tech working on it. We're trying to get an upgraded system so we can add more parts into it. But the lights light up and they tell them at the bin how many they need of each thing. And they'll sequence them, so we have customer hardware and we have our own internal hardware. They can change the lights 2 different colors and we can go through and pick that. We're actually having to go off PDFs right now. We always have a backup, but she has to read it. Luckily, she's worked here and she knows where everything is because it's just a description and she's got to find it right now.
This is Kanban. Blue's good. When you pull the last one, turn in the order card.
Yep, and it's that way everywhere
There's
in
the
here.
2-bin.
We'll pull a bin out when it's time to order. Just helps our purchasing department see it. You can see this one, they came through. 400 of these will be here today. We have just enough in our bins to make it to where whatever our consumption rate is versus our lead time, we have just enough product. If we have a big spike in things, we're okay with overnighting and paying those fees for a one-time occurrence versus stocking more inventory. We're constantly working on eliminating some of this inventory too. If we don't need it, we're getting rid of it as quick as we can. So
How would you feel about trying to run without a Kanban system?
it would be chaos, complete and utter chaos. I've worked here for so long, I Kanban things in my own house now. So my home shop at home, we have Kanbans. I couldn't survive. I don't think I could work at any other company if they wouldn't let me make Kanbans.
And in other news, if you like what you just heard about Kanbans, you're going to want to stay tuned for this. So if you're struggling in purchasing or someone's bogged down all day trying to look for things for you, or if you have that one item that you only purchase every once in a while and it's a struggle to find it again every time, all of those struggles can be behind you. Let's set you up a good Kanban system. Kaizenify.app has made it super easy. We can create your Kanban cards in minutes. Now, Kanban's even more powerful when you start color coding. We can embed QR codes to make the purchasing easy, and this is the best way to make sure everything stays organized. No more people walking up and just putting stuff on a random spot on a shelf. You're gonna get a shelf label. So streamline your purchasing with a great Kanban system and stop running out of the things you need when you need them. Check out Kaizenify.app for your 60-day free trial.
The thing to point out though, like you would normally see bins dripping, heaped and overfull. So the like the order quantity on that's 100.
For a company that does 30 million a year, so.
But the thing is, if you really think about what we're trying to do, we're trying to reduce the amount of time from the time the customer places the order until they get the product. Don't lose sight of that. We are here to serve our customers. Anything, go back to Ryan Tierney, value add. Is that adding value to the product? So in the perfect world, when we're assembling, we want to turn our hand and have the vendor put the screw in our, right? Well, they're not there yet. So we're trying to get closer to that. Make sense? So we start out with, look at these decals, 16. They're trying to get down to where they print it right here. We may have started out at 100. And as we get better and better and closer to the customer, we start removing more and more. Does that make sense? One of the things that we did in the early days is I printed $1 million in Monopoly money. And we went around and stacked money in all these bins because this is company money tied up. That's what it is, right? You want the money to come in and float down that canoe and turn into more money. You don't want it to come in and just, remember the eddy? This is all eddying out right now. It's just sitting here whirling and whirling and whirling. It isn't doing a single thing to contribute to flow.
So just a little bit about our packaging tables, some improvements that we've done. We do a lot of big products, and we ship a lot of glass. So RBO, we ship glass all over the world. We've added in the foam machines so that we can protect the product extremely well. We've gone from crinkling paper. So everybody's familiar with craft paper. You got to tear it off, you got to crinkle it, you got to add volume. We did this all day long. We've added in the crinkle machines, and we mounted them up high to where you can just put that right into your box. So just a huge improvement right there. We built the banders right into the table. So instead of having to go off to a separate bander, you can now do it right here. It's got a scale built in so we can write the weight for shipping if it's going out the door UPS. They can do that. They have all of their labels right here. These are all adjustable. We have every different size operator and product. There might be a product that you want at a different height, so we can do that right here at this table. But everything is right here. Everything they need to do the job is right here. They got to go get their box, and then they're set up with everything they need. All the tools are on the wall. All of the
Got rid of
computers.
air hoses.
Yep, so everything is right here. And then they're ready. This is the last line before it goes out the door. We're either going down onto a pallet or we're going out the door UPS. So it's all flowing straight out the center. We blocked the entire shop and we've done just like a product would, and we're right back out, ready to ship.
Michael's the one that got us to buy the cardboard recycler
Oh, really?
that munches it up, the boxes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes great packaging material.
So by doing all this, we're able to figure out how to pull time out of midair. Can we come right behind you? They did the same thing here with the label printer. The scale weighs it right here. We even lightened the end of our cranes up so they would swing faster
Holes get bigger as they come down.
to speed it up. I was just, you remember, just we spent days debating where these should go and days debating.
So we had a table when we were building this facility, and we had every piece of machinery built to scale on graph paper to where we could lay out a department and decide where down to the forklift. We had a little forklift that you could move to make sure a corner wasn't too tight. And him and I spent 3 months laying out shipping, and I would get so frustrated because at the end of the day, he'd call me in the middle of the night or send a text and say, hey, I know you thought you had it yesterday, but I've changed everything. I need you to come back in the morning. And I'm like, oh my,
But I'm not the only one.
no.
Where he laughs because he gets texts at 5 a.m. and 3 a.m.
Yeah. But it was so important for us to get it to the best that we could in that moment. And there's things that we've had to change, we always will. But we made the best decision for every department when we were setting it up. And we learned off of what we hated about that place. We grew so much over there, our flow was just so horrible. So we knew that we wanted product to flow in the door, raw materials to come in and to turn into a product and go right back out.
You can't believe it, but we would weld, and then we'd have to take it to the end of the building, wash it, then roll it over there and powder coat it, and then go crisscross.
Oh, we believe it. We always see it all the time.
You made a difference in Alex's life.
I saw that.
I
That
thought
made
you'd
me
like
very
that.
happy. Yeah.
My son, one of our sons, is graduating, and his senior comments the school posted online, and he said he wanted to thank Kristen for giving him a good work ethic and learning how to keep a positive attitude in the
So
grind.
he worked here for 3 summers. Well, he's worked here since he was teeny tiny little toddler, but 3 summers he worked hard. And the first summer, he couldn't hardly get past a problem. He would have a little bit of a meltdown. And by the 3rd one, he's like, I've encountered a problem, I have a solution, and I'm moving on. So just really great to see him
It's a
grow.
proud papa moment right there.
Wow. Yeah, we still have our moments. We went to the Barrett Jackson auction and came back, and he reorganized his mom's laundry room, and that didn't go so well. And I explained to him he was supposed to have, to do Kaizen, you got to have 2 people in our company that can best help you, and he did it on his own, and that doesn't work. Because
What do you mean 2 people that could best help?
so In our company, anybody can change anything they want as long as they meet with 2 other people that can best help them make the decision. If you want to move something in shipping, move it. You don't have to come talk to me. But you also can't go get 2 people from the weld shop. You need to find people that can actually help you get it done.
Or challenge the decision as well. So we don't want people that will just roll over and you're my buddy and you're going to side with me. We want someone to challenge it, and we want the best outcome. So that's really what you're looking for. We also have to get the originators. So we have to go through the homework of who put it here and why. So we don't hurt their feelings, number one, but most importantly, they might have already done all these things you want to do and know why it didn't work. So just asking who is the originator and can I get their input as well.
This is like a huge problem at my factory where people are undoing people's improvements because they want to improve it. And
So we've done this from day one. Minimum of 2 people to best help you make the decision. And then you got to support, when you come in the morning and they moved it, you got to support that.
yeah,
That's hard.
Yeah,
But
you don't
once
get
it
to
gets
just walk
done,
away and go, "Good luck."
but here's the cool thing. If you work here, you cannot go home and say, by God, if I owned it, this is how I would do it. Because you have the chance to change it. And if you didn't change it, shut your pie hole. Because you had every chance to fix it. So we made it easy to do 6S too.
So if you're setting up a cell, all of the labels that we use most often are here ready for you to just come take. You don't even have to reorder it yet. Yep.
Yeah, this is the stuff that people always wanted to buy from us, these blanks. And then this one's pretty cool. You know the blue bins we use?
oh, you bend it and they fit in.
Again, we got to give you the tools to be successful. Everybody, this is Tammy. Tammy worked with me for how many years? 17. So she was here in the early days. How many people when you came to
I
work?
think when I started was like 15.
So she was part of the, we laughed, we cried, we laughed. I was trying to explain to him how much work this took.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it did. But it's been fun. Still doing it.
Still doing it, yes. Well, I don't want to hold you up for lunch. We're going to do a quick power walk through here.
Oh, nice to meet everybody. You guys are enjoying the tour.
She realized it. I love it.
Yeah.
Overachieve.
We try to give everybody their identity.
Hello. Future superstar. Nice. Diagonal inventory everywhere. Wow.
Pretty minimal. I'll walk you over here. We made all our own furniture. Use the same tube in. This is all the office supplies for the entire company right here. Yeah. We really pared it down to 1 pin, and the system's really easy. When you pull the last pin, you slide the bin forward and you place it here to be ordered. And then when they restock it, they put the full bin to the back and the remainder here we just recycle.
Can we dig in here just like, can you tell us why it's so important? Like this, you have a humongous company and you have 4 Sharpies in there.
Right.
I'm 100% sure this company can afford a box of 20. Like, why do you see that it's important to do it at this level with even the most trivial of things? Like,
But it's not trivial.
oh, thank you. Tell us why.
I mean, well, I was trying to come up with an analogy, but it's almost like, is heroin bad for you? You would think so. What about mushrooms? And like, I don't know if drugs is a good analogy, but one thing tends to lead to another, leads to another to another. Look, we're a lean company. End of story. We live to develop people that work here and reduce the amount of time it takes to get the product from the time they order it to their hands. So we don't make any more money to fumble around ordering large quantities of pins. Do you understand? We don't need to give up more shelf space, because if we overstocked all these, most companies supply closet. You know what's even worse? Most companies, I was at lunch with a guy the other day that runs a big company, and he gets a phone call. Oh, okay. Well, I'll get more when I get there. What's going on? Oh, they ran out of toilet paper. And they need you. Yeah, I got to stop and buy some. You don't have a process for ordering toilet paper? Like, I mean, that's ridiculous. I don't know. Like, to me, it's so simple. When do you want a pen? When you need to write with it. So you want to put your hand out, the vendor puts a pen in your hand, you write on it. Well, we're not that close. So we're just going to get closer and closer. Let me ask you a question. How many pens should I stock? Purchasing is always going to say, well, you got to buy more.
They get a price break.
Yeah, but where are we going to put it? Kristen, anything to add?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just training everybody that even the smallest thing matters. Like, it's in the small details. So if we don't do it here, why is it so important out there, right? So we have to make sure that it's important and everybody lives this way, and that's the way we decided to do business. Also, we're paying people to put it away. We're paying people to order it. I'd way rather stock a small bin full of product than having to spend my whole day stocking those products, right? So move on to bigger and better things.
Well, then the bigger question is, why do we even have Sharpies?
Right.
Like, seriously, I mean, we're a paperless company, so why are we even using a Sharpie?
I mean,
So
this is
let's
like,
figure that out. Maybe we can get rid of the red ones. Let's set a goal of a week of getting rid of red Sharpies. Like, that's how we roll. You know what I mean? Well, look at the empty space. I'll guarantee you that's all through an improvement. Enter bins. Like,
Yeah, we have the like one of our biggest challenges is teaching and convincing people, like, it's the little stuff that matters. Like, if you know, I'll quote Michael when I was at Yellow School. He's like, if you can't manage your Sharpies, please don't go out into the factory.
agreed. Like, somebody once got very critical of me because you have the yellow tape, right, for the cell. And the cart was like this. And I go, dude, put the cart in a square. And he goes, man, nobody can make you happy. I said, wait a minute. If this is okay, what about that? What about that? What about, where do we draw the line? I'll tell you where we draw the line. It's taped on the goddamn floor.
we don't draw it. It's taped.
Stay inside the lines. You don't want to? It's okay. I learned this from Alan Mullally, who ran Ford. It's okay.
You don't have to work here.
Yeah, you just can't work here anymore.
Yep.
But it's okay. But if you're going to work here, you're going to put it back into the cart. And even notepads. Like, to me, this is too many notepads. But the problem is I think if I remember on this one, we couldn't buy in smaller quantities. They come. But how many notepads do you need, Brad? I mean, come on. When will this company use all of these? I'll bet if you put a timer on it, this is probably a year.
More than a year.
Or a year. And that money could have been making interest in the bank. It could have been using to develop a new process. We could have gave somebody a raise.
Once we've turned it into inventory, we can't do anything else with it. So always think about that when you think about inventory.
And then
If
the
I
next
don't
question-
turn it into this, I have money to do something else.
Why do
Same
you
with the
need
part-
yellow ones and why do you need spiral bound? Why? They both do the same damn thing. Wait a minute, aren't we paperless?
I love it.
No, seriously. How long did I give us to go paperless? Wasn't it a month?
I think we had 3 months when you first did the challenge.
And everybody was freaking out. And then we come up with ways to scan in credit cards and just,
Yeah,
and then we
at
made
that time, everything was printed. All of our orders were printed, the sales orders, the packing slips, literally everything. We had paper everywhere. And that was how we were so used to doing business. We had to again, get really close to it. We had to figure out why we were printing it and what happened. So we Genshi Genbutsu'd with the products and the papers, and we followed them through the shop. Okay, this one's doing this and it's getting this at the station. What can I do if it's not paper right now? So really just getting people to go and try, right? So we didn't know how to do it at that time, but getting the right people involved and just trying. And then PDCA, and we try again, ring the towel, we call it. We've improved the process, we ring the towel, and what else can we get out of it? So constantly just challenging everything as well, like he just did here with us. Why do we even have notebooks? Why do we have Sharpies, right? It's constantly challenging the norm. This is normal, this is what we've always done, but why? And why do we still do it?
Thank you, Kristen. This is one of my favorite quotes. We made the sign, by the way. There's a pattern developing here.
Well, it's really nice to meet you guys.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, good luck. Yep, please do.
These are just some of the products that we make, the toolboxes. You can see, oh, this is their new toolbox. The old box we made, you can step on the lid. And then see all these plastic plugs. You pop these out, and then you can mount all the commonized products. Yeah, this
like
is the
this
one.
stuff, that's the stuff on the side or whatever.
So we put a 400-pound load rating because we know the drivers are going to stand on the door. Then our towing dollies, we're by far the world's largest manufacturer. We produce a dolly about every 15 minutes, 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. Never stop. And these are the desks that we started offering for sale. And then these are all of our fishing accessories that we've invented. So you need to understand, we invented, manufactured, and brought to market every product you see in here. I think we brought over 1,500 new products to the market in a 7-8 year period. All this stuff's what we manufacture.
Wow.
Trying not to spend too much time in here. Winch rack, but pretty competent manufacturers.
Well, I think that the whole thing, and it just starts with solving problems. Like, you are a master at seeing a problem and going, this sucks, let's build this, let's do that.
Yeah, I don't know about a master at it, but like, to me, it's so simple. If you just care about the people around you, you want to challenge them, and just keep putting forth challenges and asking why, just why. A lot of people didn't like working for me because, Lynn, why are you doing it that way? And they would view it as me interrogating, and I just wanted to know why. Oh, okay. Why do you walk back and forth so much? And then, and then we had to teach everybody to not be defensive.
Yeah, it's the process, not the person.
It's the process. Yeah. So I always told them, hold out your hand, because I'm going to ask why 5 times. So you can start oh, okay, he's going to ask why 5 times. All right, well, grab my jacket. Paul Akers told me he's been to Japanese companies and Toyota, and he says, you guys are rivaling all of them.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, that's disappointing to know that the bar's not higher. Like,
I made a comment to Lynn. I was walking through. I think the Japanese could come here and go, wow, Chuck's, we can learn. That's
how we started. I just came out and said, just when I thought no one could surprise me, because we've been to some world-class
unbelievable
factories. This is just with everything, with the leadership and like everything. But the leadership part was so great, because you just laid it all out. It's so easy to see and understand, and it's standardized, and the support system's there. That's the number one issue we face everywhere, is they're promoting people into leadership and failing them because they didn't surround them with anything, with that level of support and expectation. So I think that's phenomenal. That's just that one takeaway is just
for me,
in the middle of the night a lot.
It's hard coming back. I left here 1.5 years ago. But it warms my heart to see it still running.
Yeah.
Bathrooms are a disappointment, but you know, that sustaining is really hard.
Yep.
But the leadership group was in really good position when I left. So they drank the Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
How when you were like when you were smaller and growing, like when you come here now, you're like, oh, we have the team leads, we have the support system, we have the red team, we have, like, when you were a smaller organization, how did, like, I'm like, okay, so if I had team leads and a red team, that's everybody. Like, we have how many?
11.
We have 11 people. So is it just a smaller scale? One red
No,
person?
I mean, to me, that then, well, I don't know. Like, first thing is I would have to start off with a good company culture. How we're going to run our company, all of us. What are the rules that we're going to hold each other accountable to? And then, what do you guys think about a red team? What do you think about just trying this? Everything begins with the decision to try. It's only 11 of us. I'd like to be on it to start for the first week. And we're going to use this card from In the Ditch. Would somebody else like to join me? Okay, yeah, all right. So you other 9 people, what we need you to do is whenever you have a problem, grab us. And we would like to come through and try to go through some problem solving with you and see how it goes. Because the cool thing is if in a week or 2 weeks we don't like it, let's modify it. But the most important thing that I got to get across to you, thank you. No, come on through. Thank you for guarding my coat.
Of course.
The most important thing I got to get across to you, people that work here, is number one, I care about you. And number two, I want to make sure that we're getting you help and support when you need it. And the only way I know how to do that right now is through this red team idea that I learned about. And the big thing is when I'm not here, I don't want to do this every week. So we're going to rotate somebody else in. So even though I might not be accessible, somebody else can get you the help. And that was, I literally got the entire company and said, I feel like we failed you. And my commitment is we're going to get you help within 15 minutes. And if they don't respond within 15 minutes, you call me directly on my cell phone. Because I got tired of hearing, well, I told my team leader and they won't do nothing about it. And most people, they were right. But on the other hand, here's what they do. Hey, Brad, we need to get a better machine back there. You know that.
Yeah.
And I've told him over and over and he won't listen to me. Well, Brad, did you meet with the red team? No, I can't help you then.
Right.
I can't help you. I've given you all the tools you need to succeed, and I'm not sure you want to succeed. But if you really want that machine, call the red team.
So good.
It's perfect. It works perfect. And you're and they're learning as they go. They're getting the experience as they go through it. So the red team is learning as they go, and you're rotating people through, and you're getting fresh eyes and fresh feedback, and it's evolving.
Well, and I would also told them, if I find out you're around the corner telling somebody else that you can do a better job of running this company, and you haven't had a Kaizen, and you haven't called the red team, I'm going to make the decision for you to go start your own company.
Yeah.
And I did. Because if you want this place to be amazing, it can be. Oh, it's hard, man. I want to be back in their building right now. But
Something that I think I got wrong for a long time, and you're just reinforcing it so well, is that the non-negotiables, because we all, you're in lean for 5 minutes before you've read 10 Toyota books, and you get the respect for people, and you translate that into, I have to save everybody, and everybody, I can never fire anybody, and I can never do anything mean to another person, mean, quote unquote. But, what I'm hearing from you is respect for people is keeping the rope tight, is keeping the wrong people out of the building.
so we own this beautiful golf course in the mountains, 300 acres. It was abandoned for a year or two. There were some employees there, and I asked a couple of the locals, I go, what do you guys think? They've been random drug testing these guys? He goes, God, don't do that. Or you ain't gonna have anybody work up here. You can't get help in a mountain town doing drug testing.
Yeah.
That's not how I roll. So we invited all the old employees back to do interviews. We put out new ads. Beware, we will do random drug testing. Only one employee showed up, and he goes, "Thank you. Thank you, because I don't want to work with druggies."
Yeah.
And guess
That's
what?
the raising of the boats.
Pretty soon, now we got applicants. Everybody wants to work for us. Everybody. So was it unfair to that guy that we allowed people to work there that disrespected our company culture? That's unfair to them. So we got to get you other guys and girls out of here to
You're
make
really
way for those of
protecting-
us.
You're really protecting your core culture at that point.
You nailed it.
Yeah.
This is our house, and if you got house rules,
Yeah.
can I go in your house and just
Well, try
eat and throw stuff on the ground?
Try leaving the dishes in the sink at night.
Can I do that?
Only if you want.
Can
to
I
go to
walk
bed.
through the house with cow shit on my shoes?
Nope.
But you allow it. Most people would allow it in their company.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know too many shops that don't have that guy that everybody in the building knows should not be there.
Well, they're holding them hostage in a lot of cases. They're really high-skilled guy that they're afraid to get rid of. Usually.
Sure. Or
Yeah, you need to I got to get you copies of Winning. There's a chapter that goes through that, and he talks about the 3 personality traits, and some of them traits are just it's just unfixable, and you need to get rid of them. And you know what happens when you do fire them? Everybody comes in, the clouds come out, the sun's shining,
many
the birds
times
are
we've seen
singing.
it?
The team's happy. They're happy to step in and help and overcome it. They are. Yeah. That's like you said. The ships, the boats in the harbor raises the boats.
But we needed to have a series of questions to ask ourselves to really quantify that this isn't a personal thing. And then having a support group to make the decision. And then the other thing we did is we cleaned up our recruiting process. As I mentioned before, we turned it into recruiting, but we would do 3 interviews. The guy we just hired to run our golf course, we're moving a 30-year-old with 2 kids, a wife. We got him to sell their home in Nevada, 600 miles away. They're going to come run our golf course in a remote town. I asked that he bring his wife up, and we interviewed with her too, so that she knew these first 2 years, it's 6 to 7 days a week, 12 to 14-hour days is what we're going to expect out of your husband. Then after that, we have but it's hard work, and you need to know that. She said, "I'm in. It's what we signed up for."
goosebumps. No surprises. That's another thing I'm picking up here. You have no one's surprised. You lay the law. Here's the rules. Here's the expectations.
If we fire you and you're surprised, then we failed you.
Right.
You should not be surprised. But man, I did also tell you, Kristen will tell you, and Tammy and Clay, when we give tours, I feel like it's a Wild West town, right? All the fake front buildings are up, right? And everybody's holding it. They're holding their breath, and we walk by. And then the buildings are falling down. They're shooting each other. They're busting whiskey bottles over their head. Like, it's an incredible amount of work to perform at a high level. Anybody that runs a championship program will tell you. It is incredibly hard to stay there. We're going to get run over.
No, I'm just looking. I've pulled up to so many companies because I'm always going to a different company, and it's almost like they're hiding. I can't figure out, am I at the right building? But you clearly even showed the entrance,
Customer.
exit. I mean, it's so well labeled. I had to deduce the last customer I was at.
Yeah.
It's like by process of elimination, I think this might be the building that has no signs on it.
Uniforms. My mentor, who was out of Canada, Grimsby, Ontario.
Who was there?
Toronto, over by Toronto. Donnie Cruz.
Okay.
Tragically had a... he said, "Why do we wear a uniform?" And I said, "It's because chicks dig it." He goes, "No! You wear a uniform because it gives people permission to ask you a question."
Explain.
Well, if people walked up and saw us here, who are they going to ask? Is that in the ditch?
The guy with the in the ditch hat.
Well, yeah, the guy with the uniform, you're going to ask him a question. It gives people permission to ask you a question. So you walk into a shop and you're like, I don't even know who works here. I don't even know who to ask. Are you a customer? Are you a...
Yeah, we
Right.
could be tourists right now because we're filming. We could be
Right.
camera crew. Yeah.
So here's a fun fact. See those 3 light bars? Them
Yeah.
are
Oh,
LED
yeah.
colors, and they pulse. And I have them on each end of the building. And you know why I did it? To F with people. So my closest friends know that's me just screwing with people. They don't do anything but flash random colors. And everybody at night, they see them like beacons. They're like, what does that mean? And my friends all say, you got to ask Chuck.
God.
Even when we had to cut the budget on the building, I said, I'm not getting rid of my lights because I want to mess with
Well,
people.
there's such a sense of fun in there. The Dr. Evil posters, the posters of you on the wall, like people are still having a really good time with, being at work.
We're a smash mouth, beer drinking, tractor pulling, fist fighting kind of company. And I don't like it when people try to change that. So here's what I was thinking. I'll let you guys go to lunch. You got a lot to process. We'll get over here.
What
I'm
happened to
leaving
Chuck?
you guys behind.
We had him run over. Feel a bit bad.
All of that was done in here.
That's crazy. That is just amazing that you could build that in one lifetime.
This place runs the exact same way.
So this one, you're still fully involved. Like you're still owner of this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's where we keep our hot rod collection.
When I pulled up, I was like, this is very reminiscent of Michael at Yellow Tools. He's got his hot rods with a garage. We didn't get to see in there, but it seems like, oh yeah, that looks fast.
This one, so I will tell you. So when I retired, we sold, I was pretty much fried. Emotionally, physically, stuck. Ended up, we have our ranch. I have a race car. I was going to go racing with my wife over the summer. We ended up with this golf course through a complicated deal. And I left for about 1.5 years. This building, they were hemorrhaging cash. Lost a couple $1 million.
Oh wow.
My son asked me to come back. We lost our lean way. First thing I said is, when's the last time you guys have used the red team? It had been almost 2 years.
Oh wow.
And got rid of 8 people, brought our culture back, started doing lean, got back. We're about 6 months in and it's night and day. Still wonderful people, still a wonderful organization, but it just wasn't that important.
It's hugely distracting. I'm like, what's making that
That's
noise?
my little CUDA. It's gonna go get fuel injection. The truck's here picking it up. But that's not, I wanna make sure that people that work here, still work here, they're wonderful. Everybody was wonderful. We just got caught up in trying to meet customer demands and doing all of this, and it just started slipping away. And then you just wake up one day and you go, man, we're so far from where we were. And you got to do these resets. And that company, we would do resets, constant resets. And it's just the way it is.
Oh, and before I forget, we also didn't miss the opportunity to sit down with Chuck in his studio, and we did a podcast, and this was our one and only podcast where we did not have a time limit and we did not put the brakes on. If Chuck was talking, we were recording. So look out for that podcast. You can find it on YouTube and Spotify. Just search On the Shop Floor. We'll see you there.